Hi and welcome to this Produal product training video series. My name is Antti Salli and I'm a product manager here in Produal. During this video series we will go through different kind of new Produal products, applications, configurations and different kind of user cases with the products. We are taking a deep view of how to configure devices for different kind of applications. This video series will start with the introduction of Produal Proxima MESH wireless system. Let's take a look on the mesh system what we are using here. VBU is the heart of the system and is collecting all the data produced by the transmitters. We are calling these transmitters as a VTRs, and all of these VTRs are fully battery operated transmitters that are working as repeaters in the same time. All the data transferred in the network is two-way communication, meaning that the gateway are communicating with transmitters and the transmitters are communicating to the gateway. This makes it possible to have different kind of features and functions where we can send example external values to the display in the same time when we are collecting data from transmitters to the gateway. One gateway can handle up 100 transmitters, and in the one area there can be multiple networks working in the same time. This makes it possible to have applications where you have hundreds of transmitters in the one building. We are using 2.4 GHz frequency for the communication, and that is the same frequency that is used with the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Distance can be up to 100 meters in the open air. Inside of the building we can achieve from 15 to 50 meters distances depending on obstacles and the different kind of construction materials used in the building. It is easy to use MyTool application before installation to check what is the coverage of the system inside of the building. Whole network can be updated remotely by using FOTA functionality. With FOTA you can drive a latest update to the gateway, and the gateway will then handle the update of the transmitters remotely. This makes it easy and fast to do the updates when needed. All the communication in the network is secured in AS128 level, what makes it very reliable and a trustful system for the wireless measurements. Each system has a one gateway, VBU, and transmitters, VTRs. VTRs are battery-operated transmitters that are working as repeaters and the transmitters in the same time, making it possible to operate network without external repeaters. So let's take a look on the VBU and its details. The VBU can be operated with 24-volt AC or DC, and the connectors we can find from here. The measurements we can convert as a 0 to 10 volt outputs if so wanted, and those connectors we can find from the here upper side of the gateway. VBU has a Modbus communication, RTU and Ethernet. RS485 connector for Modbus RTU we can find from here. Modbus TCP IP connectivity we can find from here on the bottom side of the gateway, where we have an Ethernet connector. Also, VBU can read external measurements and like NTC 10s, 0 to 10 volt or digital inputs, and those we can find from here bottom side of the gateway. VBU has an external antenna connector, which is a SMI connector. To the SMI connector we can connect external antenna, example VAAS1, that can be found as an accessory for the VBU. VBU has several LEDs to indicate different kind of functions and features. Example CPU, RS485 communication and the wireless connectivity can be indicated by using these LEDs. When installing or configuring the VBU, we need to change the operation mode from mesh to the Bluetooth or from Bluetooth to the mesh. This operation mode change is happening from this small button here, and to change the operation mode you will need a screwdriver or some other small tool to push the button. From the bottom part of the VBU we can find different kind of information and also the QR code that can be used to get link to the Produal website where you can find a manual and the datasheet of the VBU. Also, the QR code can be used to replace a broken VBU by making a clone of the broken device. Also from the bottom part can be found MAC address for Ethernet and the wireless radio chip. So next let's take a look on the VTR. VTR is a wireless transmitter for room and designed for indoor use. VTR can measure temperature, humidity and CO2. There is also versions with display, push buttons, active knob and passive knob. VTR comes with the 3.6 volt A battery and this is changeable from inside of the VTR. VTR has a bottom part that is just a plastic and then the upper part where we can find all the PCB, battery and the measurement elements. On the side of the VTR there is a small push button that we can use for changing the operation mode from Bluetooth to the mesh and from mesh to the Bluetooth. By pushing the small button here on the side you need some small tool, example screwdriver. By pushing the button from the side, blue LED on the PCB indicates the used operation mode and easily you can check from there, are you in the Bluetooth mode, mesh mode, and if in the mesh mode, what is the status of the device. LED is telling is there is a configuration, no configuration, is the transmitter installed or has it lost connectivity to the gateway. The blue LED of the VTR indicates what is the current status of the VTR. VTR is very easy to open by pushing the upper and lower part with your fingers and you can easily open the transmitter. The battery on the side is easy to replaceable and can be replaced with any A-size 3.6 volt battery. Now we have a look at the VBU and the VTR, so let's take a look on the MyTool. MyTool is an installation software that we are using for configuring the transmitters and gateway and making the wireless network installation. You can find Produal MyTool from Google Play Store easily by just writing a Produal and search. This should come as a first search result from the Play Store. Just click it and download it on your phone. After you have downloaded the MyTool application on your phone, just open the application, click Create an account, and after that you are ready to go. After we have registered our account, we can log in and have a look what we have here on the MyTool. From the top part of the tool we can find Bluetooth devices, NFC devices, wireless installation projects, configurations, My account and application info. Behind of the Bluetooth devices we can take connection to any Produal device that is supporting Bluetooth connectivity. VTRs and VBU has built-in Bluetooth chip, but in some products like CU you need to have a separate dongle to get the Bluetooth connectivity for the end device. Some of the Produal devices like MLB is using NFC communication and NFC connection is done behind of these NFC devices. After you have installed your wireless network, you can get access to those behind of the wireless installation projects. From configurations part, you can find all of your configurations that you have done and saved on your MyTool account or on your local phone memory. From the application info, you can find what has been the latest update and what new features and functions had been added to the MyTool. MyTool has a cloud connection to the MyCloud, and on the MyCloud side we are saving all the cloud settings and configurations. Mostly you need to only use Bluetooth devices, NFC devices and wireless installation projects, depending on what type of actions and installations you are doing with the MyTool. So next we will start the installation of the wireless system. Every time when we start to make a new network, we always start the installation with the VBU. So what we will do first is, of course, we are powering up the VBU. After we have powered up the VBU, we can see from the power LED that it is powered on. The wireless LED is now blinking 4 times. That is telling us that it's on the mesh mode, but without any configuration. Also, our MyTool is showing us that there is no Produal devices nearby. So what we will do next is activate the Bluetooth by pushing the installation button, so that when we are pushing, the wireless LED will blink once to tell us that the mode is changed. Now we can see that the VBU is up here on our MyTool as an unnamed device. What we can see here is MAC address, decibels, device type and serial number. To be sure you are connecting to the right device, you can check from the bottom part of the VBU, is the serial number matching on the device what you are looking at. After we are sure that this is the right device where we want to connect, we will choose the connection button. When pushing the connect, the wireless LED starts to burn solidly, meaning that we have a working Bluetooth connection between the device and the phone. Now when we have a working connection between MyTool and VBU, we will start the network installation. The network installation is always need to do before we can install any VTRs under the VBU. So next we will select network installation. Here we can see the device name, what is as a factory setting unnamed device. This is something that we need to change to make it more visible what will be the project name and the VBU name. So in this case I will give the name of Produal Academy. Now when I'm happy with the name, I select the next button. Here it will show me the transmitter naming pattern. How it is work is that all the transmitters what we are installing on the network will get this name, transmitter, and 3 hashtags is showing the ID. So let's say that the first transmitter will get ID 1 and it will automatically give a name of 1, transmitter 1. This can be freely edited, so if we want to use example sensor in this case, all the transmitters will get automatically named sensor 1, 2 and 3 and so on. When we are happy with this, we select next. This will give us an overview where we can see the network ID, network name, transmitter naming pattern. And if we are happy with all these settings, we just click initialize network. What it will do is that it's saving all the settings to the VBU and in the same time creating a backup to the MyCloud of this VBU installation. MyTool is showing us that now the VBU has changed from Bluetooth mode to the mesh mode, and we can start installing transmitter by selecting Add Transmitters to the project. If we select OK, it will bring us to the main page of the MyTool, but in this case we want to next start installing transmitters, so we will click that button. Now the MyTool has bring us to the main page of installation view. And from here we can see different parts of the installation page. On the top side of the page we can see a signal scanner, network signal scanner, and from here we can scan what is the signal quality from the VBU or the VTRs to the phone. Now as an example, if I bring the phone very near of the antenna of the gateway or taking it a little bit far away, we can see that the decibels are going up. All the new transmitters that we can install to the network are appearing here on the new transmitters part. And all the transmitters that we have installed already on the network will appear on here on the installed transmitters part. So next what we will do is start to install transmitters on the network. Now we are ready to install transmitters to the project. Here from the middle part we can see that the MyTool is searching devices to install this wireless network. Here I have a VTR. I will open it up and this is coming straight from the factory. So here is the paperclip, and just by removing the paperclip it will activate the Bluetooth functionality, and now we can see that the VTR appear here on the middle part. Now I select connect, and like with the VBU, we can see that the blue LED is burning solidly here on the VTR, telling us that we have a working Bluetooth connection between two devices. Now we will start the installation, so we will select network installation. MyTool is showing all the free IDs. We are usually starting from number 1. It's the first free ID that we will use. IDs can be from 1 to 100, so that's the 100 is the maximum amount of the transmitters in the one network. When we are happy with the ID, we select next. And now we can see that it's giving a name as a sensor 1, like we were putting on the naming pattern previous with the VBU. If you want to change the name, you can do it freely, so that is also possible to change later on if you are not happy with the name. But now, in this case, we are happy, and we will select next. It will give us this wrap-up of installation. So transmitter name will be sensor 1 and transmitter ID is number 1. And if we are happy, we select initialize network. Again, what it is doing, VTR is now getting all the settings, and in the same time, MyTool is saving a backup of this installation to the cloud. I select OK, and from here we can now see that the blue LED is blinking here, telling us that it's on the mesh mode and searching a network where to install. What is happening on the installation of the VTR is that we are telling the VTR which is the VBU network ID and what kind of security keys there are. After the transmitter has found the VBU, it will show its network IDs to the VBU, and if those match, the VBU allows to start a joining process. After that, the gateway and the VTR are checking each other's keys, and if those match, the VBU is allowing VTR to join the network. After the VTR is added to the network, it's sending so-called beacon data for 1 hour. This beacon data can be then read with the MyTool, and in this case, we have the sensor 1. I will select it, and we can see here all the basic information produced by the VTR over the Bluetooth beacon data. Example, what we can see is the name, model, serial number, ID, parent ID, temperature, humidity, battery level, network status, mesh link quality, firmware version, and when the last beacon is received. When the last beacon received means that when the MyTool has received last Bluetooth beacon message from the transmitter to the phone. Mesh network has 3 phases. Currently, this transmitter is showing associated. That means that the VBU has seen the transmitter and it's doing a joining process. After the joining process is ready, the mesh network status will go as a joint to the network. If there is no connection or the gateway hasn't seen the VTR, it will show no network connection. Now we can see that the transmitter has joined to network. After the 1 hour, the VTR is turning off the Bluetooth beacon and no data cannot be read anymore. If there is a need to read data later on, this can be activated by pushing the button on the side of the VTR. To activate the beacon data back to the VTR, you need to push a little bit on the side button under the 1 second. It will blink green LED once and then the blue LED start to blink. This will tell you that the beacon mode is on. When the VTR is blinking twice, it shows that it has been joined the network. If VTR blinks 3 times, it tells us that it hasn't joined the network, and 4 blinks tell us that there is no configuration in the device. Solid blue LED tells us that there is a Bluetooth connection, and continuous blinking tells us that there is a Bluetooth mode in the VTR, but no connection to the phone. In case we have a transmitter that is already installed to some other network or is just not on the Bluetooth mode on, we can activate the Bluetooth mode by pushing the button here on the side so that we will see two green LED blinks. Now it will indicate with the blue LED that the Bluetooth mode is on and we can have the connection with the MyTool. From here we can see already that this transmitter is already installed to some other network. To able to install this transmitter to the same network, we just need to do reset network settings, and this will clear all the settings from the VTR's memory. After this, we can install this transmitter now to this our network. I select network installation. MyTool will offer the first free ID from the network, and in this case it's number 2. If I try to take number 1, we can see that the MyTool is saying this is already in use, so please don't use this. So in this case we select number 2, we take next. Name will be sensor 2, we are happy with that. We take next. And again, we get this like a wrap-up of installation, and if everything seems to be okay, we just select initialize network. MyTool will send now the security keys and all the information to the VTR, and now the VTR is turning from Bluetooth to the mesh mode and start to join to the network. From here, we can see that now it's number 2. I can select it. What I can see from here, this is VTR PK, so-called passive knob, and already it has seen the network, so it's on associated mode, and it's now start to joining procedure to the network. Now when we have installed 2 transmitters on the network, we can take a look on the signal scanner. Here on the signal scanner, we can see that there is now 2 nodes connected on the network, our gateway and sensor 1. And at the same time when I was showing this, the number 2, the sensor 2, joined the network. By using the signal scanner, we can find best possible installation place for the transmitters on the network. In this case, how the signal scanner is working, it is showing the first, the transmitter or the gateway, which is the nearest from the radio perspective. Like example, if I take the MyTool very near of the Produal VBU, we can see that this Produal Academy comes first. Now when I take it near of the sensor 1, we can see that the sensor 1 comes as a first in the list. After the installation is done, we can select installation overview. From here we can see what is the current situation in the network. Here we can see that we have now installed sensors number 1 and 2, what is the measuring quality, what is the battery level, and what is the power consumption of these devices. When I click Show Routing Map, I can see the routing map of the gateway. We can see that the number 1 and number 2 is directly connected to gateway, that number 1 has a 76% and number 2 has a 60% of measuring quality. Also we can see from here the battery level. Both these 1 and 2 are colored as a red. That means that there is a little bit higher power consumption than the normally. This is very normal after the installation. After a couple hours, this should go on the normal level of power consumption, and then the color will go on the green. Between the red and the green, there is a yellow color. That means that the power consumption is a little bit over the average. If the power consumption doesn't go on the green level, there is usually some kind of topological challenges, or there is some kind of a faulty installation settings, like too fast polling interval, or lots of transmitters are routing through the one transmitter that is causing a little bit higher power consumption. Where this will affect is the battery lifetime. When we are happy with the project and all the transmitters is installed, we can select End Installation. This will bring us to the main page of the MyTool, and if we need to go to the project later on, we can find it under the wireless installation project. From here, we can see that we have a project Produal Academy. If we need to install more transmitter or have a look what is happening on the network, we can just select Add Devices or Installation Overview. This was a short introduction to Produal Wireless System. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see in next episodes where we will go through more deeply the products, the functions and features of each VTR transmitter and the VBU.